Again, I want to call to order the meeting of the Common Council for Tuesday, March 1st. If you'd please press your aye and confirm buttons.
11 are present, Your Honor, with Jerry Wisbiski being excused.
All right, as the clerk noted, Alderman Wisbiski is excused. If we'd all now please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Heavenly Father, here in Green Bay, we're blessed with many good fortunes, our dedicated employees, and most notable, the caring people of this community. As we stand here in gratitude, let us be mindful of those who suffer, especially with the loss of a loved one. Tonight, we ask that you be with the family of James and Wendy Rush. That was the young couple who lived here. They were involved in their church and involved in our community. Their lives were tragically taken last week in a horrendous automobile accident. We especially pray for their children, Christopher and Megan, who will need you and this community to move forward. We pray for all families who've lost loved ones, and we ask you to be with them and the many volunteers who help restore their life. While we face struggles in our community and also in our personal lives, let us always be mindful of your presence and support to lift the lives as we look to you. Continue to bless the people of Green Bay, and as always, we pray for the continued safety of our military, especially those serving on the USS Green Bay. We ask this all in your name. Amen. All right, with that, I'll entertain a motion for approval of the minutes of the February 15th meeting. We have a motion by Alderman Nicholson, second by Alderman Tom DeWayne. Any changes, corrections to that? Seeing no lights, all in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it, and the minutes of the February 15th meeting have been approved. I'll now entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
A motion by Alderman Nicholson, seconded by Alderman Randy Scannell. Alderman Stoyer, did you have anything?
Go ahead, Randy.
Protection and welfare, up to after number 1.
All right, so we have a motion by Alderman Scannell, seconded by Alderman Tom DeWayne, to move report number 7 to the first report after referral of petitions and communications. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. Anything else? All right, we have a motion by Alderman. No, we need to approve the agenda first. So we have a motion by Alderman Joe Moore, seconded by Alderman Andy Nicholson, to approve the agenda as amended. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it, and the amended agenda has been approved. Okay, clerk? Okay,
Report by the mayor.
Just a couple things. March 12th is when we celebrate St. Patrick's Day here in Green Bay. Two things going on. Of course, the kids at Da Vinci School have their 3.17 fun run. That's at 8 o'clock. And then at 10:30 is the St. Patrick's Day parade or event that happens along the city deck. So if you mark your calendars, that's a fun event. It's at 10:30 on March 12th. As I mentioned in the funeral that we attended on Sunday, and I know some of you were there, we as a city need to do more when it comes to alcohol and driving. And I don't know what the answer is, but we have to do more. We can no longer wait for the county and the state and hide behind this culture. I mean, that was awful. So I'm looking to just get some more advice on this. And we have two chiefs who really understand this, Litton and Chief Smith. And I'm asking them, and I want to talk more about this at my State of the City, but I'm asking them to lead just an advisory task force to this city on not what the state should do or the federal government or the county, what the city can do with everything on the table. And I'm asking for 2 council people to be on this task force. And if you have any interest in that, it's just an advisory task force, but to call Andy and let him know. But I want to give that a little bit more attention than the city has. And lastly, my State of the City is March 29th. I've told you that. You should have got your invites today in the mail. If not, you'll get them tomorrow. But I hope to see you there. And again, that's at 5 o'clock at the Meyer Theater. Thank you, Clerk. That concludes my report.
We're on to announcements.
Alderman Danziger?
Thank you, Your Honor. Just 2 quick announcements. Again, I know I mentioned this at the last meeting, but the Volunteer Center of Brown County is taking nominations right now for their Volunteer of the Year awards. Again, this is for volunteer groups, organizations, as well as small groups that have made a significant impact in the area and in the community. They extended the deadline to this Friday, March 4th, as they are still looking for some additional nominations. In particular, they're looking for the Youth Group Leadership Award. So if you know of any high schoolers, college students, anybody that, again, has been active in their schools or has been creative in how they support and get involved with the community, they would love to have those nominations. Again, to nominate somebody for any of the categories, just simply visit volunteergb.org. Again, that's volunteergb.org, and the nominations are accepted through March 4th. And again, it doesn't have to be anything related to some large-scale event. If you just simply know some people in the community that have had a passion for service, that have had a career, if you will, as a volunteer, they would love to hear those stories. Secondly, then, too, NWTC asked me to notify the council that next week is Celebrate Diversity Week from March 7th through March 11th. They'll be having a number of activities and events throughout the entire week, starting next Monday, discussing student diversity, community diversity, as well as some showcasing of talent, cultural immersion opportunities, as well as some cultural events that are both educational and fulfilling. So simply visit nwtc.edu for full details on that. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Alderman. Alderman Stoyer.
Thank you, Your Honor. The city's Historic Preservation Commission will be coordinating an open house on March 10th, 2016 at the Brown County Library from 5 till 9. One of the topics will be 414 North Maple, talking about that old Fort Howard building. We're also going to be talking about other possibilities on the Larson Green property with the half acre that was promised. So we're going to talk about the building. Where was it? What should this building be? But it'll also be an open house for the various directives that we are working on with HPC. So that, again, that's on March 10th at the library in their downstairs auditorium from 5 till 9. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Alderman. I'm going to hit your cancel button. And okay, Clerk.
We're on to public hearings for planning ordinance number 1-16, an ordinance amending the official map of the city to revise the future road pattern for an area development plan number 112, generally located along Sitka Road, and also zoning ordinance number 2-16, an ordinance repealing zoning ordinance number 11-02, rezoning certain property located at the northwest and northeast corners of South Jackson Street and Chicago Street as a planned commercial overlay district.
All right, thank you. As the clerk stated, we're on to the public hearings. Is there anyone here wishing to speak to either of these 2 items, planning ordinance 1-16 or zoning ordinance 2-16? Anyone wishing to be heard on either of these items? Anyone wishing to be heard? All right, then we'll let the record show that no one came forward.
You may, under suspension of the rules, take up items 18 and 19 with a roll call vote.
All right, we have a motion by Alderman Joe Moore, seconded by Alderman Chris Weir to suspend the rules for that purpose. All in favor of suspension, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. Ayes have it. The rules are suspended. Motion to adopt by Alderman Joe Moore, seconded by Alderman Randy Scannell. And if you'd please use the board on this. Okay, and those pass unanimously, and thank you. Okay.
We're on to appointments, new appointments, Traffic Commission, Bridget Redan.
All right, there's a motion by Alderman Tom DeWayne, second by Alderman Andy Nicholson to approve the new appointment to the Traffic Commission of Bridget Reardon. Discussion here. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it. That appointment has been approved.
Reappointments, Traffic Commission, Daniel Thino and Charles Caro.
All right, there's a motion by Alderman Nicholson, second by Alderman Randy Scannell to approve the reappointments of Daniel Thino and Charles Carl. Any discussion here? Seeing no lights, all in favor of the reappointments, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it. All appointments have been confirmed. Thank you.
Referral of petitions and communications. On page 1 of your packet, you have all petitions and communications received by the clerk's office by noon on Thursday. We will now accept any late communications you may have.
We'll begin with Alderman Chris Weary.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have two. Both are for traffic. Both are for four-way stops at Spence and Thorndale and Shirley and Locust. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Alderman Mark Stoyer.
Thank you, Your Honor. I had one that was put in last week, and it says to the Park Committee, it's a request to look at the current docking, slip rental, and other maritime issues on the Fox River, and to report out on the findings. That should go to INS.
Right.
And then also I have to traffic to consider a left green arrow signal on southbound Military Avenue turning east onto Bond Street.
All right, thank you. All right, Alderman Tom DeWayne.
Yeah, Your Honor, thank you. I hit the wrong button for communication, so if you oblige, I'd just like to give a shout out and condolences to the Battalion Chief Schauer and their family. You know, when these people give their life and dedicate, anybody in the city that does time and does what they do for our great city, I think they should be acknowledged. And usually I try to get to funerals when I see that, no matter what department they are in. And so I won't be able to make this one. It's on Thursday if anybody else can. But it's just amazing that we have so many good people in the city of Green Bay. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we will go. Alderman Dave Nenny.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have a request to the Protection and Welfare Committee. This is a request of Dave Nichols to appear before the Protection and Welfare Committee to discuss 4 concerns regarding the operation of Nick's Bar and Grill at 1657 Main Street.
All right, thank you. Alderman Randy Scannell.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have 2 communications. One is to the EDA and the RDA and the Green Bay Planning Commission to set aside funding for the Velp Avenue Corridor Brownfield Redevelopment Plan. And the other is to your office, Mayor's office, to map out city monuments and take stock of their condition and make recommendations to their upkeep and or replacement.
All right, thank you. Alderman Joe Moore.
Thanks, Your Honor. I've got one for Economic Development Authority to review possible benefit of joining the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and recommend action.
All right, thank you. Alderman Nenny, did you have anything else? You hit your cancel button and Alderman Scannell. Alderman Danziger.
Thank you, Your Honor. For Traffic Commission to consider renaming the Traffic Commission to the new designation of the Bicycle, Pedestrian, and Traffic Commission.
All right, thank you.
And then second communication also to the Traffic Commission to consider revisions to the municipal code pertaining to the role of the Traffic Commission in regards to accessibility, pedestrian and bike considerations, and alternative traffic goals within the community. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, Chris, do you have any late communications?
Yes, I do. One for Protection and Welfare, application for a Class B combination license by LM Capital LLC at 301 South Broadway.
All right, thank you. All right. Alderman Zima.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have a joint communication from Alderman DeWayne and myself. I'm requesting that the City Council hold a public hearing at its March 15th meeting regarding the placement of a SBA cell tower at the NEW Lutheran School property, and followed by a City Council recommendation regarding this matter to be forwarded to the NEW Lutheran School sponsored churches. I attended a neighborhood meeting with Mr. DeWayne, and the people are very upset about the placement. They're not opposed to having the cell tower, but they just don't want it stuck right in their front yard. They think there's other places on the property that can satisfy the needs of the school and the churches as well as the neighborhood. But they just feel they need some way to get some communication going. So I don't know, I referred this to the city council for March 15th. Is that proper, or should this go to a committee?
Let me ask our city attorney. And you're right, there's a lot of discussion on that.
I would refer it to a committee, and I'm just thinking whether it should be Protection and Welfare or the Plan Commission. I think would be the two bodies that would deal with it.
What are the dates on either of those?
That would be, let's see, 15th would be the 8th, 7th, or if Protection. They both meet on Monday nights, I believe, so it'd be the 7th, March 7th.
And it'll come to the council on the 15th.
Report it out.
Okay,
Just seeking some kind of venue for the neighborhood.
that's fine.
Have some communication. In the churches that sponsor. That is to the neighborhood.
Okay. All right, thank you. Alderman Danziger or Alderman Scannell, did either of you have anything else? You just hit your cancel button. Okay, and then the clerk read in a late communication. See no other lights, I'll entertain a motion to refer all. All right, there's a motion by Alderman Randy Scannell, second by Alderman Tom DeWayne, to refer all petitions and communications to the proper authorities. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it, and all petitions and communications have been referred.
Reports for council action, report of the Protection and Welfare Committee.
All right, and what are your wishes regarding the report of the Protection and Welfare Committee for the meeting held on Monday, February 22nd? There's a motion by Alderman Randy Scannell, second by Alderman Tim DeWayne. Any items on this report you wish to handle separately? Number 4. Hearing none others, all in favor of the remainder of that report, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it. All items in that report have been approved with the exception of item 4. What are your wishes regarding item 4? A motion by Alderman Moore, second by Alderman Randy Scannell. Alderman Weary.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My motion would be to refer this back. Mr. Gray called, and he was apologetic he could not get out of work that night. So.
I think he's okay. You want to
This
refer
is
back?
Mr. Davis. Yeah. This
Oh,
is
I'm sorry.
For gentlemen.
So there's a motion and second to refer item 4 back. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it. All item 4 has been referred back. Alderman Zimmer, can you just hit your cancel button? All right, clerk.
Report of the Plan Commission meeting of February 8th, item number 3 held up at a previous meeting.
All right, and what are your wishes regarding? All right, there's a motion by Alderman Nicholson and seconded by Alderman Randy Scannell to approve the report of the Green Bay Plan Commission for the meeting held on February 8th. Discussion here. All in favor of that report, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it. That item has been approved.
Report of the Plan Commission.
There's a motion by Alderman Tom DeWayne and seconded by Alderman Mark Stoyer to approve the report of the Green Bay Plan Commission. That was for the meeting held on Monday, February 22nd. Are there any items in this report you wish to handle separately? Seeing no lights, all in favor of that report, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it. All items on that report have been approved.
Report of the Finance Committee.
All right, there's a motion by Alderman Randy Scannell, seconded by Alderman Tom DeWayne, to approve the report of the Finance Committee for the meeting held on Monday, February 22nd. Are there any items in this report you wish to handle separately? Seeing no lights, all in favor of that report, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it, and that report's been approved.
Report of the Improvement and Service Committee.
All right, we have a motion by Alderman Randy Scannell, seconded by Alderman Dave Nenning, to approve the report of the Improvement and Service Committee meeting, which was held on February 24th. Are there any items in this report you wish to handle separately? Number 3. Hearing none others, all in favor of the remainder of that report, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. Ayes have it. All items have been approved to the exception of item 3. What are your wishes regarding item 3? Motion to approve by Alderman Randy Scannell, second by Alderman Chris Weary. Alderman Zima.
Thank you, Your Honor. I was hoping that I couldn't attend the meeting, but I was hoping that the committee would maybe make some recommendations regarding the report. I'm wondering if they have any plan of attack. It is a rather large project. They say to fix all the problems, it's in excess of $150 million. But there may be some things we can do to improve the situation. And in the short term, I know some of us had talked about increasing the number of lift stations or improving the size of the motors in some of the existing lift stations. And I'm just wondering if the committee would like to make some kind of recommendation on it, not just receive the report. I know that receiving it means you approve of it, I guess, but there's no plan of action with it. And I think that's what I'm looking for. I think we need to at least say, how can we start nibbling at this problem? They identified some, about 15 really hot areas of the city, and I guess, they gave some overall costs, but how can we start attacking at least the bigger problems with maybe not spending all the money, but at least approaching it over a number of years? I think we have to really, I didn't ask for the report just to receive it and place it on file. It's to set and lay a plan of action over a period of time. Because these problems, for heaven's sakes, when people are putting sandbags out in front of their properties to stop water from coming into their basements and stuff like that, those areas have to be addressed.
Right.
And I think they did a great job putting this report together. But it's time for us to take some action, not just put it on a dusty file.
Right. Let me ask you, do you want to refer this back, or do you want to put a communication in for some action steps regarding this? You're right, the report.
I can give an update if you'd like, because we did make some recommendations, Your Honor. I don't want to.
No,
They're just not listed here, though.
And I maybe can provide a little more information and guidance on that.
Could we hear from Alderman Danziger for a minute? I'll come
Sure.
right back
we
to you.
can't. I don't want to do the committee work on the floor,
Right.
although Mr. Wisniewski's not here, so I can get by with it.
All right, let's give it a...
I think, I'm satisfied with sending it back if you want to kind of put it in writing and make some recommendations to us.
Sure.
Let me go to Alderman Dan.
I'll yield the floor to
All right, Alderman Danziger, why don't you
Sure.
comment on this, and I'll go to Alderman Dwayne.
Thank you, Your Honor. Actually, I think the way that the report was probably submitted was not as clear as it could have been, and part of it was just simply how the motion played out in regards to we were dealing only with the report. And I know the minutes may have been improved upon, too, if we put some specifics as to how we came to the decision about not only receiving the place on file, the report itself, but, again, recommendations through the department and how we would attack the issues regarding the public works, the sewer and water. We empathize with Mr. Zima here that there are some serious issues, and this is a large-scale challenge. This is not something you fix in 10 years or 20 years. The plan of action that we decided to guide and direct, and I'll let Director Grenier provide more detail on this, but what we decided was, because there is no true way to identify what the full investment would be, because we are dealing with a 10, 20, potentially 30-year sort of endeavor. Mr. Stoyer, Mr. Nettig put in a lot of solid information and analysis as to, again, the size and scope of this project. As Mr. Zima mentioned, we have 15 really key areas right now that are experiencing consistent water issues and challenges. They've been identified by the Department of Public Works. There are some engineering limitations that exist in terms of just size of the piping that I don't want to get into right now. But if we can focus our efforts on those primary areas that have been the bulk of our concern, not only would that obviously reduce the amount of manpower that's going to be dedicated just simply, I guess, giving short-term resolution to those challenges, that can also be used as a model for possibly improving some of the other challenging areas that we have here in the city. So we didn't simply say, we like the report and there's no action that's going to be taken. We have said, given the recommendations from the department, those are the areas that we'd like to have emphasis on first. One, as a part of study, and two, to provide potentially some sort of strategy that we can replicate throughout the city for some of the other challenged areas. If I can ask Director Grenier to just provide a little more insight from the engineering perspective as to what they specifically will do, I think that'll help alleviate some of the concerns or questions that Mr. Zima has as well.
Do you want to go first, or do you want Steve to comment?
I was just going to suggest that we don't have to receive this placed on file, but hold it and have Mr. Grenier put something together for our next council meeting that everybody can see in advance, and, you know, some of the stuff that he's talking about, how he's gonna approach it, and we can all read it, and if we need to, we can talk to him. Otherwise, you can, like you said, what?
Sure, and again, not to interject on Mr. Dwayne, part of that was in the report, actually, and that's what we were trying to pull out, were some of the specific items in the report that were highlighted that could be applied to those critical areas. And again, Mr. Grenier can provide a little more depth and detail as to, again, what they are actively doing.
Right. Director Grenier.
The report that was prepared by the Department of Public Works identified 9 key drainage basins, 3 of which are on the west side, 6 on the east side, where we see most of our repetitive issues on street ponding and flooding issues. Part of the recommendation that came forward out of the committee was an authorization for the Department of Public Works to proceed with implementation efforts to address concerns within those 9 basins. What that implementation strategy is going to involve will be engaging consultant engineers to help us design some of those facilities to alleviate those problems. So things such as sizing of larger pump stations. One of the basins that has repetitive issues involves taking surface water discharge from the parking lot at Lambeau Field, and we are currently working with the Packers organization on a detention basin that will address that. So some of these issues are currently being addressed, and the committee gave us the authorization to proceed with detailed engineering studies to address issues within the remaining 8 basins across the city. That will be our first step. While we're working on that, we will continue to document issues and look at additional basins for implementation strategies, but we want to hit the hot spots, those 9 basins we identified first.
All right, thank you. Alderman Danziger, is there anything else?
I'll yield the floor. Thank
All
you,
right.
Your Honor.
And, are you good? All right, Alderman Zima?
Thank you, Your Honor. Well, I can appreciate that, but you know, I'm 70 now. I don't think I got 30 more years, but I will be happy to take them if the Lord gives it to me, because I'd like to see this done. But you know, getting the consultants, I don't know how much money that's going to take, but I guess I have a question for Mr. Grenier. I've been told that some of the pump stations are undersized in the pumps, that larger pumps could help alleviate the backup that causes some of the problems in our city. Is that an accurate statement?
That is correct. The pumps were not sized for what we want to use them for. They were sized for an application when river levels were higher and there were no backflow prevention gates on the discharges, so we actually had river water flowing backwards up the pipes into the storm sewer system. So it was meant merely to keep the pipe dry. So in order to get ponding water off of the streets and push that out to the river, we would have to upsize the pumps. That's one of the things that we're going to attack first. So that is part of the implementation strategies on the 9 basins we identified.
Well, it strikes me that that's something that you don't have to have a consulting study necessarily to make those kind of improvements, or to add maybe a half a dozen or a dozen new pump stations. I know Matt had told me that those pump stations cost a whole new one would cost about $100,000. Well, I thought, well, we've got some tax money coming back from the overcharge in the Packer tax. You know, maybe 10 of those would go a long way of alleviating some of the problems. Because I think once we've identified this, and this is what I want to bring to the attention of the council, once we've identified these problems, we have an obligation to fix them. You know, maybe it doesn't affect some of your districts, but I'll tell you, when I have people who the water comes up over their windows, their basement, what do you call it, windowsill, window wells?
Yeah.
I agree with Alderman Zima, but I think to go up more length of this, I think this should be sent back, and let's take care of it, Guy, because I believe.
I just want to make 1 or 2 more comments about it. It's just that once we identify problems, we have an obligation to take care of it, and I believe it becomes an insurance problem. People can make claims once you've been made aware of problems, and I tell you, I mean, I know of at least one house in my district where he just abandoned the house that he lived in because it came and it just knocked out everything he had in his basement, and he didn't have the money to keep it going. And there are others on Shawano Avenue. I mean, they're putting bales of hay and sandbags And still, people have filled their properties, and still the water comes up so seriously that it comes over into their wells, into their basement.
Alderman Zima, I appreciate that. You missed the meeting on the 24th.
Each time this has
Right.
happened. We can't keep doing this,
I agree.
otherwise these bills will come back to us.
I agree. What would you like to
right,
do?
just
You're not
refer it
satisfied?
back.
Okay, so
Second.
Alderman Zima is making a motion to refer this item back, and that was seconded by
Or
Alderman Tom
immediate
DeWayne.
recommendations, things that we can
All
do
right, couple more
quickly.
lights. This is on referral. Alderman Nenny?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Hang on. I'm sorry. I got wrong.
I just wanted to add a couple of things here to the discussion. If you read number 3 thoroughly, sure it says to receive and place on file, but the end of it says to authorize staff to proceed with implementation of efforts to address stormwater issues in the 9 drainage basins identified. And the intention of our committee is that you start with those 9 areas, and I think it does include Shawano Avenue, the area that you're talking about, Guy. I think all the council members were sent a copy of the summary of this report. I think Mr. Heckenleibel at Public Works did a pretty good job identifying solutions that we know about that are ready to be implemented or can be implemented in the near future. I think the intention of our committee is we start with those 9 basins, and that our committee get periodic reports on the status of that implementation. What have we done? How successful has it been? And so on. And you start with those 9, and then if you achieve success there, you move to other areas and you try to get the problem resolved. Our intention was not just to receive it and place it in file and forget about it. If you want to refer it back, we can certainly do that. But I think Public Works did a pretty good job identifying all of the most significant issues. And there's a very thick report that Mr. Heckenleibel has on the complaints that they've had, and I think he did a pretty good job identifying the most significant areas. So if you want to refer it back, we can certainly do that. I don't mind doing that. But I think our committee's intention, if you read that thoroughly, is to proceed with implementing the recommendations.
All right. Thank you. All right, on referral, Alderman Danziger.
Thank you, Your Honor. I guess like Alderman Nenning, I don't have a problem if we bring it back, but I guess I do believe that many of the concerns, or at least recommendations that maybe Alderman Zima would like to implement, may already be part of the suggestions or recommendations that have come from the department. Also, too, I know in terms of hiring another outside engineering or consulting firm to assist with this, I think it's kind of twofold. This is a unique situation. This is a unique project. Again, we're dealing with some very challenging situations here, from water levels to flowage to, again, the engineering constraints that we have with our current infrastructure. And we have a fantastic engineering staff. We have fantastic members of DPW, but they've got other jobs to do as well. So I think one of the reasons to bring in a consultant was to dedicate his or her time to that project and provide us some very good guidance. And again, take some of the information and knowledge that we've gained from attacking these 9 critical spots first. If there are other recommendations or suggestions that the council has that they would like to have included or integrated into their response, that's fine. I don't mind them making those recommendations. I think, again, everybody has some very solid ideas they can contribute. The only thing I just wanted to add is I'm willing to speculate that a lot of those things may have already been in that report, or at least in that recommendation. So if, again, that can be perhaps done prior to the meeting, or if there can be some outreach to kind of clarify or align what your individual suggestions might be and the plan suggestions, that would just be something I guess I would suggest prior to those suggestions. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
If I may suggest.
So on referral, Alderman Zima, there's a motion, and a second by you and Alderman DeWayne. Anything else you want to add to that?
Well, it's just that I'm looking for some short-term solutions to help alleviate the problems, not just the long-term. Mr. Grenier, what is the price tag attached to the 9 problem areas that you identified? That's a big number.
We don't have a price tag associated with it yet because a lot of the problems that are out there, we need to get a consultant on to do some stormwater modeling to show what our system is capable of handling. We don't have that expertise in-house. That's the first step, is getting the engineering work done. Once we have the engineering work, that will recommend the solution, and the solution will carry a price tag with it. That will be reported back. It will be part of our capital improvement program.
Well, I mean, is there anything we can do in the next 3 to 4 months to try to help alleviate this problem? I keep thinking about the lift stations.
We're hopeful that some of the solutions that we have are what we would refer to as low-hanging fruit. One of them being the detention basin over at Lambeau Field. Some of them being the upsizing, upgrading of the stormwater lift stations over in the Broadway Street area. We would hope to implement those as soon as possible. We just need to design that lift station to make sure it's properly sized so we don't have.
What do you see as the times frame on this, getting this accomplished?
We would begin engaging consultants as soon as this matter is approved by Common Council.
Is there money in the budget for that?
Absolutely.
Okay, and so what do you see as a time frame? Do you think something can be done before the storm season approaches? At least make some attempts. I mean, we had situations where the pumps weren't even working sometimes.
At this point, I can't hazard a guess. I would like to believe that as soon as possible. On something like a lift station, it's entirely possible that we could be constructing lift stations this summer.
Well, I'd like it referred back and a lot more discussion on what the short-term solutions could be to try to alleviate the problem as much as possible.
I got it. All right, so there's a motion by Alderman Zima, seconded by Alderman Tom DeWayne to refer this item back with the recommendations as listed. All in favor of that, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. Is there nays on that? No. Okay, the ayes have it. That's been referred back. Okay, clerk.
Report of the Personnel Committee.
All right, there's a motion by Alderman Tom DeWayne, second by Alderman Mark Stoyer to approve the report of the Personnel Committee, and that was for the meeting held on Monday, February 22nd. Are there any items in this report you wish to handle separately? Hearing none, all in favor of that report, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it, and that report's been approved.
Report of the Protection and Welfare Committee granting operator licenses.
All right, we have a motion by Alderman Randy Scannell, seconded by Alderman Chris Weary to approve the report of the Protection and Welfare Committee granting the operating licenses. Are there any names on this report you wish to handle separately or abstain from? All right. Anything else? There's a motion and a second. All in favor of the report, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it, noting the abstention of Alderman Danziger.
We're under resolutions. You may enter suspension of the rules, adopt resolutions 9 through 11 together with one roll call vote.
All right, there's a motion by Alderman Randy Scannell, second by Alderman Dave Nenning to suspend the rules for that purpose. All in favor of suspension, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it. The rules are suspended. Motion to adopt by Alderman Joe Moore, second by Alderman Tom DeWayne. If you'd please use the board here. All right, and those pass unanimously. Thank you.
Ordinances first reading. You may under suspension of the rules advance ordinances 12 through 16 to a third reading.
All right, there's a motion to suspend the rules by Alderman Tom DeWayne, second by Alderman Tom Slottick. All in favor of suspension, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it. I'll entertain a motion to advance by Alderman Tom DeWayne, seconded by Alderman Tom Slottick. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it. Those first readings have been advanced to the third.
Ordinances third reading. You may adopt ordinance 17 with a roll call vote.
Just a motion to adopt by Alderman Zima, second by Alderman Randy Scannell. If you'd please use the board on this. This is third reading, item 17. That's awesome, Tom. All right, and that passes unanimously. I'll now entertain a motion to adjourn. All right, hang on. Alderman Weary?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just had a question. Do we know when we'll be meeting with the United Nations? Is that at our next council meeting, or? I haven't heard any applications.
Mr. Rosendahl. March 15th, here. All right, March
Perfect, thank you.
15th. All right, motion to adjourn by Alderman Randy Scannell, second by Alderman Tom Dwayne. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. Ayes have it.
Here's a list of all the people I'm invited to that meeting. If you have any others you want to add, let me know. Just for that meeting
Right now. Oh, yeah. Oh, good. We're with yeah, they are the nicest. Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah, we're looking forward to
you or your associates. Let's say there might be other friends or people that kind of heard. No.